All right, here we go again. Got another job starting tomorrow, so it's going to be a rough couple of days for me, but I'm going to do what I can. I think it's going to be a little bit easier this job. It's for Lululemon, so no big deal. I don't think it's as ridiculous. So I probably will be able to shoot videos at night. I got to make that YouTube money, which is $4. It's like some videos are $7. I get $7 or $11, and then other ones I'll get 4 or like 2. I'm like, and the ones that have make less money have more views. So there's no rhyme or reason. They just give you whatever they think you deserve from that video. There's no way that it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any. It's a scam. Of course it is. But either way, got to start somewhere, and at least it's something. Can't complain about that. I mean, like, at least gives me the ambition or the drive or the encouragement to actually do these videos day in, day out. You guys would really help me if you just hit the like button, please, for the love of God, for the love of Christ Jesus and the heavens above us. Just please comment. Please say whatever you want. Say anything. This is a platform of free speech on my page. Tell me I suck. Tell me I'm amazing. Tell me that you can't get enough of me or you never want to see me again. It doesn't matter. Either way, you're welcome here to say whatever you want, to like it all the time, and to subscribe right now immediately. It would be a blessing to my heart. It would make me feel good inside. I would be happy to be alive. But either way, let's jump right into the charts now because, well, first, actually, before I get into that, there is one stock that I'm thinking about loading tomorrow. I got to see how it trades, but I want to go with my gut and I want to hold it the entire month because I think it's ready to go. I think it's just about to blow, and I think I got a spot on the train and it's ready for me tomorrow. And I need to catch it though, because if I wake up late and miss my alarm, it could be an issue. Again, got to see how it trades, but I'm not going to mention the ticker. But I think that this is a month-long hold, which I never do. So I'll be buying it tomorrow, and then I'll be featuring it as the top stock the entire month on every video that I do. You could call me pumping. You could say whatever. But I really do think it's actually going to come to fruition. And I think people do always want one that they can hold a little bit longer instead of just day trading everything. That can make you go nuts. That can make you depressed. It can make you smoke 1,000 cigs a day. It can make you jump off a building. I don't know, 10 years ago, I did a job for Calvin Klein at the old Exchange in New York. And we were able to go up through all the abandoned rooms. And the guy who was giving us a tour was like, yeah, people jumped off here all the time, and it was so high up that they would end up like on a street over because they would like catch wind and like fly until they died. So that was just like pretty common thing, and that was in the 30s. So um still does the same things to people, wipes them out, destroys them. It's a very hard game to play, and if you end up on the wrong side of it, you can really want to hurt yourself. It's dangerous, but if you make the right calls, it can be a really good source of income. You always need a side hustle. If you can manage to make this your number one hustle, then you've made it. It's still a lot of work. It's never gonna be easy. But I just, I've had enough of the ups and the downs and the making the money and then giving it right back. I've had enough of that. So I just want to get in something smooth that I can go to work. I don't have to worry. I can, like GMZP the other day, it crashed on my skull and I was working and I'd been up for 15 hours and I wanted to jump off the old exchange in New York. Not really, but it was at the same time, it was like people were talking to me and I'd be like, do you not know? Can you not see it on my face? Can you not see that I'm upset with life? And maybe don't ask me a question ever again. Thanks. But those are the days you got to just deal with it. But either way, I'm chilling this month and I'm buying this stock and I'm owning it the entire time. It'll be released tomorrow and it'll be featured. So let's see. And no, I'm not paid you to get into it. If I was paid, it would be trading way high. It's not trading way high. It hasn't gone yet. And I think it's going to go. And I'm excited about it, but I'm getting FOMO. We're going to start with GDC. if my computer decides that it wants to be my friend and not my enemy. Today it's Shell. Now, this is one of them. I mean, this has been happening recently. Here's what I wanted to say about this. Now, there's a few of these that I have in here, and it goes for all of them. This is luck. This is hitting a jackpot. The only reason why we're talking about this stock is because we're looking at it at the end of the day up 1,140%. You go to these boards and everyone and their mother is tagging their stock. This one's next. This one's next. And it gets people, a lot of people to think, oh, that maybe that one is next. Like, and they go in, they buy it, and it doesn't happen. Okay, these are stocks that you get super lucky on. They run for no reason. I believe this was I mean, I don't know exactly what it is. I just saw that it was up a lot. My point, and could it keep going? Yeah, it could. I don't know. It's a crapshoot. There's no way to guess. I don't know. And nobody knows whether this stock, there's no way to read this. I mean, it's bullish because it's up a lot. But I don't know where the top could be, and I don't know how hard it's going to pull back. These things have also been running and dumping the day after hours, even, or running 1,000% after hours. Again, these are your gambling stocks that just make no sense. It just happens out of nowhere. Not a lot of people were randomly accumulating this with zero volume over the past, I don't know, year. Like, dude. It's a crapshoot. It's a drop in the hat. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. Don't get used to this and don't try and chase this type of move every day. I've been in a few of these, but I had to hold for months and I got lucky with like a merger that just randomly came into it, which I was like kind of thinking that might happen, and it worked out, but I had to hold it for so long. I hated it by the time it ran. SHMP. So I'm just saying, like, don't look at these type of stocks like when we're going through these and be like, oh man, that's my next one. No, this could have been, this was also, it broke above this orange band. It kissed it yesterday, and then it just got sent to the sky. I mean, this is at a previous kind of level of support here a little bit, so that's why it stopped here, kind of, I guess that could be called a resistance, but you did close hard over this middle band. What I'm going to look for entry in this stock, for all I know, it could keep running tomorrow and just not come back down. But in my opinion, it could also start to come back and create a flag. So I'm going to set an alert, and I'm going to set an alert for, I don't know, let's say, I actually don't know where, but I'm going to watch this over the next couple of days, and I'm going to hope that it flags, comes down, and then remains bullish. Right now, it is very bullish, but I don't want to chase it and then have to sit in a stock for 5 days and be like, oh man, I should have waited. If I miss it, I miss it. I might catch it though, and I might catch it at bottom. If it flags, comes back down, maybe this line starts to come up, maybe it kisses that line and then accumulates and goes up again. So I like SHMP. I like that your technicals aren't necessarily overbought. I just think that it could cool over the next few days and then get hot again. That's what I'm hoping for. But also, yes, of course, it could remain bullish and continue tomorrow right to the sky. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you these things. IDEX had an amazing day today. I said this in last video. I said IDEX, it has to go up eventually, and it went up eventually, and I think that 652 is probably going to be your next stop. I think it could potentially get back to this level or this previous support right around 10 cents. 9 to 10 cents would not be a bad guess here. Again, for me, I'm going to look for a pullback and a flag to get up there. I don't want to chase it and wait, but I do think that this thing, and again, this thing could go straight to 6.5 cents tomorrow. If you're in that, you're looking pretty, especially if you were buying at the lows. Good job. Your RSI is not even, it's just hitting a buy signal. Your MACD is just hitting a buy signal, so it's not overbought in any way because of the fact that it was so oversold. Just a really good day for them today. I think chances are you're either going to go up to 652 right away. Your max gain is 9 to 10. I'm praying for a little bit of a pullback to enter, and then it goes. But, who knows? I'm done with buying these things on, on runs because it can cause a huge issue. You catch the wrong one on the wrong day. Look at WETG. Look at what happened to WETG. Made me dry as the Sahara because that thing fell 35% today right after a great day. That's not a way. That's like not good. It's not good. TANH. This is. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. So TANH, another one, just kind of a crapshoot, kind of lucky. I mean, this was actually on my watch list, but I would have never been like, oh, I'll randomly get in here. It doesn't really make, there was no volume spike. There was nothing out of the blue. You're never, if you catch one of these and you randomly were buying on these days, which not a lot of people were, there was no volume. They're just, I mean, if you were randomly accumulating this, good for you. Amazing. You made a crap load of money. I'm happy for you. But it's very hard to just randomly pick. Now, you can day trade these very well. Very like that. That's a possibility. If you can't day trade, though, if you bought it and it stopped here, which a lot of them would, right in this range and then pulled back, then you're screwed. You don't know that it's going to go all the way up there. It's just random. It's random. The market is like that. They want you to get used to seeing something like this and being like, oh man, I can do that every day. I can do, or you're in one and you're like, yeah, that was easy. This is what I did. I'll do that again. And then it doesn't work for the next 15 times. And then it becomes an addiction and you end up losing your entire family to the rice fields of Asia. TC, this thing, I think someone mentioned this to me the other day. If you are watching this and you did mention it to me, good call, because it's looking like it's bullish as hell right now. Like really bullish, actually. And it's up post. Damn, TC running with the win. Now, this one could be a strategic buy that actually turns into something because you have a very, very oversold chart and you have a very, very bullish candle here, and it's still going up after hours, and you had an extreme amount of volume. This could be getting litty. This could be getting litty. Damn. Oh man, these are the things that I hate because you look at this and you're like, this has the potential to go really high, but you just don't want to chase and get murked. I don't know. I mean, your technicals aren't necessarily overbought. Your MACD is like pretty much on the ground. Your RSI is just getting into the hot zone, which I've seen it running that for months, especially, or for like days, maybe a week, because of the fact that it's so oversold. There's a very high chance that that's possible. Very good looking chart, TC, looking really good. I hope that one works out. I hope that I hope that I like think, I don't know. I got to get that. I don't know if I want to chase that. Stick to the plan. You just said it 15 minutes ago. You're going to buy something and hold it for the month, you nut. You got to stop chasing waterfalls. You got to stop chasing dreams. This isn't Martin Luther King Day. Just focus on the month. Know that you're going to be at peace. Know that you're going to be able to sleep. Know that you're going to be able to take in nourishment without puking it out of your ears. Know that you're not going to need drugs to get, or alcohol or cigarettes to get through your day, just to get through your day. Know that you're not going to want to throw a cord around your neck and throw it over the closet rung and try and attempt. I probably can't even say that, so I'm just going to end it there. Just stick to the plan. This one looks really good. DPLS. This thing is staying bullish as hell. Ascending wedge, closing higher. This one could really break out tomorrow. Looking at 1 maybe for the first stop, just as a psychological barrier. Looks like it could go there tomorrow. This one might be one that I buy tomorrow. Give me a little bit of a pullback in the AM. Might not even do it. Might just go straight there. If you want to try your luck, I would say try your luck down here at 5-7. Set an alert. If it hits it, you're in a good spot to buy. But you kind of want this to just, if you're in this, you want this to take off tomorrow, and I think that's a very high probability. ENZC. Yeah, I mean, I brought this one up last video. I said this thing looks like it's encroaching. It looks like it's going. It looks like it's flowing. It looks like it's rowing. And it looks like it's rowing the right way down the river towards the campsite where they have plenty of food and nice ladies. It's in the summertime, scantily dressed, playing volleyball. Unbelievable. And that's what this chart looks like to me. But here's the problem. is there's a storm coming and you're not sure if it's going to get rained out. And you're not going to, if it does, you're not going to have enough time to actually talk to the girls. It's going to lead to nothing except for a 3-hour trip to the campsite down a river where you're bitten by mosquitoes and you're going to itch yourself all night until death is upon you. Now, the reason being is because it's going up to resistance, which is, is 7 and 8. It got through 7 today. It wanted to get through 8. It got through 8. It pierced it, but it didn't close above it. You get it. You start hitting 9 cents. You start hitting 10 cents. This thing could run like the wind. This thing has been known for runs. It went on a massive run back in the day. I was in it, except I sold for like 20% gain or whatever it was. And then it was an issue. That's where patience didn't, I would have been lucky, but I wasn't because I sold, which can be an issue sometimes, like I said. So if it gets above 8 and it starts hitting 9, if it starts hitting 10, it might need a little bit of consolidation because it now is at resistance. I'm going to set an alert for 8.5 cents. And when I won't have to even look at the stock, but then one day it's going to hit 8.5 cents. Could be tomorrow, could be in 2 weeks, but eventually it is. And I'm going to know, is there a lot of volume today? If there is, then chances are this is a good stock to buy because it's breaking through resistance. Okay, so that's how you trade these stocks. I think it is going to consolidate here. I don't think it's going to go right through it, but we shall see. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Either way, setting an alert. I'd rather get in at 8.5, knowing and having confirmation, than getting in now and being like, is it going to do it? Is it going to do it? And wanting to like cry all day. Next, CETX. CETX. Thank you, Computadore. Thank you, Computadore. This one, I put it up because I am pretty bullish on this. Your MACD is starting to turn up. It's kind of like settled here, but it's starting to look good. Your RSI is turned up. It's over 50. It's encroaching into the hot zone. Not a lot of volume today, but still, that's still like enough. It doesn't need, it's probably a very thin stock. So you get above this resistance line at 10, you're looking at this could easily be a 40% gain from here. I do like the look of this chart. It's steady. It's not going to do anything insane overnight, but it has before. It's ran from, $6 to, it's ran 100% in a day before. I could go on another one of those runs, but I think a safe bet would be to get above 10, hold above, 1050, hold above 1050, buy it, get out at 14. That's the safest play you could probably make on that bad boy, but that's 40%, and 40% is very sexual. SIRC. SIRC is just a bad boy. It's the baddest boy in all of the land, and I want to punish it for getting away from me because it's ran away and it's running. It's not running straight on the ground. It's running into the sky, and I need. It's like a balloon that's just was released and it's ready to go and it's ready to fly up and it's not going to explode anytime soon. I think it's going to go on a nice little rise here. I think that you're at resistance here, but the stock just looks very, very bullish. This is a very consolidating at every level, stair-stepping beautifully. You get above this resistance, you might start to go here. This thing could really go here. Yeah, I just really like the look of this chart. Your RSI is about to get real hot. Your MACD is about to get real hot. God, there's so many things I want to buy with so little time and not enough money in my account. What the hell? I need to get more money in my account. I just need like a $900 million loan that's forgivable. I don't understand why that's not possible. They print literally they print that much money pretty much a day. And just give me one day. Just give me one day's worth of money that we print from the government. And why not? I've always tried to figure that out. Like, why wouldn't you? Oh, well, what are you going to do? Is my computer going to work? Because that would be awesome. No, I just went over SIRC, and SIRC is incredible. And SIRC, it looks good, guys. It looks good. That's something that I would highly recommend. It was my pick of the week last, and it was up, but it's just ready to keep going and going and going and going and going. Finger also looks good. Now, you don't want to get faked out here because it's kind of trading this upward range, but you get above that, you're looking at a potential run to like almost $4, 350, maybe $4. You're currently at $2, looking at 100% upside here. Your RSI is in the hot zone at 62, above 50, looking good. MACD isn't overbought, turning green, volume enough. There's enough liquidity in this to get in, to get out, especially, if you're not trading like $1 billion, you'll be good. This one looks good, but it's got to get out of this. It's got to like, you're wanting to look, you want to see like consistency over 250 and then hit it for like a 50% gain. That would be your confirmation, because it could just be a fake run, pull back, and then do it all over again in that range. NVOS. This one also looks good. I don't know what it's doing after hours. 1378, so pretty much staying in this range. Now, this one looks like obvious. There's an obvious bottom and there's an obvious resistance. It broke out once to create the W. I would call this the front load, okay? This is where somebody knew something was coming. They got in before the crowd. Now, the chances, in my opinion, now it could have just been a news day that sent it, but either way, this thing went up. It created the inside of the W. This is the other edge of the W. Now, there's a gap at 60 on a zoomed out chart. That's a very good thing to have. I've been watching this trade. It's very bullish and it wants to get above 14. If it gets above 14 with strength, I would hit the ask at 15 without even a shadow of a doubt, because it's been such a long. Now, look, I mean, you got the tops of these peaks up here at 1478. So you got to kind of really look bullish here. You want to make sure that this is going. You don't want it to be a fake out to pull back to this band, what have you. But it's one to keep your eyes on, because this thing could go and it could go at any time. I do like NVOS, especially with how bullish it's been. It's not like here where it pulled back. It's remaining bullish. It's staying above this line. There's a lot of volume coming in. There's a lot of things that might come up over the next couple weeks. So if you get news in this, you get the right news. You get the FOMO rolling in. You get the gap at 60 filled. You could be making 400% from here easily over time. That's the ones that you look for that bring you no stress. INQD. This one also looks very bullish. Perfect pullback to this middle band, and then absolutely got sent after it. Brilliant. 7.3 to 96. It looks like it's bullish, pushing on this top of this wick, which would be your resistance. And once you get above that, then it has the potential to get to 12.9. That's also a nice gain from here. Solid 30, 40%. Your technicals aren't necessarily overbought. They're actually starting to turn up, which looks good. Your volume is there. You closed at the high of the day. I think that this has potential to definitely get to 13. VPLM, a little bit more mundane today, fellas. I don't know why. Just some days I'm up, some days I'm down. Not necessarily like I'm like sad. I'm just saying like I just don't have the energy today. It's been a long week. I'm finally past that. Now I'm going into it again. But again, I think that it's going to be a little bit easier this time. So I think it's not going to be as stressful, and I'll be able to bring the energy. VPLM looks good. I mean, you're consistently now. If this was reversed and these candles were underneath this line, just like they were back here, I would say it's not bullish yet. But the fact that it's claimed this middle band and it's closing above it with consistency, and you have a solid amount of shares traded each day, allowing for liquidity, your RSI turning up, your MACD turning up and going green, your long-term flag here that's trying to get out of this pinch. It pinched here, but actually went to the downside. It held down here a little bit. Now it's trying to get to the upside. So, you get an upside move here. You're looking at a potential test of the recent highs, which is up near 11, 12 cents. You're currently at 100% gain is not out of the question here. It might not go in one day, but it might go over time. So just keep that in mind. Keep that on your watch list. Watch for it to start to break out, and keep your ear to the news. BMEA. BMEA looks good. This thing gapped up and it did not close the gap, and it's looking super bullish here. I don't know if it's a fake out to get like a bull trap and they're going to fill this gap randomly on like an offering or something. Obviously, I pray to God that doesn't happen, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I mean, it flagged perfectly, came back down, rode on top of the middle band, tried to come back down to it, pushed off of it again. Now it's pushing up near towards the top resistance, which is good. You get above this price, it could go on another leg to the moon. This thing looks really good. You bought it back here and you just held it over time. It's starting to really make you some money here. I don't know exactly what they do. If you're in this stock, always leave the DD on the company to let me know what's in the pipeline, what might be coming up, why it's ran, why it's going to run. That's always a big help. But either way, the chart, as far as I'm concerned, looks really good and very bullish. Okay, I'm going to stop there for a second. Because my food's here, and I'll be back. All right, guys, we're back. Earlier, that's why I'm at work right now. I fell asleep after I ate, and I had to because I had work tonight. I get to work, everything's going fine. Then I realized that the company built the wrong size subfloor for underneath the tent. So I just had to go over I guess they don't know how to read a diagram, which is pretty insane, but at the same time, it's not because they don't speak English. So they really need you to some crews are different. Some crews come in, they have better diagrams. This one was ran up at 5:30 this afternoon. So they didn't really have a lot of time to prepare. There wasn't a lot of measurements, so I can't blame them too much. But it's fine. I don't mind staying awake all night when I have to trade all day. That's not a big deal. It's going to take a lot longer for them to do it. That's fine. I don't care. I'm not angry. I'm completely at peace. I'm very calm. These are the things that you need to tell yourself when you want to blow a head gasket and when you want to rip someone's head off. You just have to stay calm. But I talked earlier in the video, that was about 7-8 hours ago, about how I was just going to load one stock that I thought had potential for the rest of the month. I take that back. I did a lot of thinking, and I've spent a lot of time over the past couple hours at work going over alerts, setting alerts. And I promised myself for this entire month, I'm pretty stable right now financially, so I don't feel the need to make money right away. I'm going to actually just wait for the alerts to go off, and if they hit, then I buy it. If they don't, then I don't buy anything. Sure, some days I might not even be in the market, but I'd much rather be secure and confident in my trades than going all over the place and winning and losing and wanting to, split my nervous system in half and sell it to science. That's what I'm going with. This entire month, I'm setting alerts every single night, and I'm going to just see how it works. Let's see if that, because that's the work. That's the work that you never want to put in. Sometimes I'm too lazy to do it because I do have long days doing other stuff, but that's no excuse. You always have a few hours to put in your alerts and stick to them. Otherwise, you're just going to be guessing, and this isn't a guessing game. CTMX is a very good setup here. I like the fact that it's pushing on this. If it gets above this resistance, that's where I'm going to set my alert. I'm going to set my alert at like 185, showing that it's breaking above this resistance. If it can do that, it can probably get back to 209, 210, 211. So, or I'm not sure. I mean, it's breaking out of this downtrend, that's for sure. It just needs a little bit of heat behind it with your RSI at 52, your MACD turning up, your volume pretty low, but hopefully you get some big volume days coming in here, and that's what's going to push it above too. NVDA, one that's been around for a long time. If you would have bought it at its inception, you would have been in really good shape. One of the strongest stocks I've ever seen in my entire life. They do microchips, very relevant. The chart's breaking out once again, even after this very long period of a push. Now you're breaking above this resistance where it's kind of stopped for a little while. Your RSI's smoking, your MACD is pinching. Everything looks incredible on this one too. You're not going to get 100% gain in this in one day, but over time, you could get 500% from here. It just keeps going and never stops. Sometimes it has pullbacks. You buy on the pullbacks or on the breakouts, which is what it currently is doing. HUDI. what did this thing do? Yeah, I mean, it pretty much didn't do anything after that 60% haircut yesterday after the close. We're looking at 535. I should be writing this down. I definitely should be writing this down, but I don't have a pen near me, so I'll just have to scratch that. But it does look like you want to pull back to this 545. If you can get in there, you're in a good spot. That's a good place to buy. Is it going to go below it? Possibly, but that's the middle orange band, and if I'm going to buy it, I'm going to buy it there. That's probably will have it settled at 50 on the RSI. Your MACD isn't overbought. Just had a huge day with a lot of volume, followed up by still a very solid amount of volume. Let's see what they do. Top. Another strong pullback after an absolute monolith of a day. I haven't seen anything like that in a while. This thing, I mean, but these Chinese stocks have been running like crazy. I think that's coming to an end. Might have a few more days involved with that, but I wouldn't get your hopes up too much. Looking like it could come back and fill this gap at 24. I mean, I know that's a 50% haircut from here, but everything looks really shoddy on your technicals. That's where your gap is. That's where your previous support. I mean, everything lines up to say it's coming back to 24, which I know a lot of people don't want to hear. But maybe don't buy into a stock after hours when it's up 1,000%, and you won't have to worry about that. Let these things settle. Let the chart play its course. Find where you think it's going to settle, where support's going to be, if resistance being broken. Somebody said the other day that fundamentals are the only thing that matters. Absolutely not. Sure, you need to know what's in the pipeline. You need to know what news is going to come out. There's a lot of things you need to know, but a chart can obviously help you pick your spots on where to buy and where to sell. You know, a lot of these things run on patterns, and sometimes they don't necessarily work. Sometimes they do. You're going to have a better chance of gains if you're following a chart and you know the fundamentals. But you know, news can come at any time. Yeah, it's just, yeah, sure. There's certain stocks that are riding bottom and they have good fundamentals, but I don't know when they're going to run. And I'm not trying to sit in a stock on dead money for 6 months. You know, so that's why I'd rather try and catch momentum, either going up or pulling back at support or resistance. GMZP, I don't even know why I'm reviewing this turd, other than the fact that this thing is just a clear sign of a pump and dump. It's basically an inverse head and shoulders to the downside. Disgusting. Pulling all the way back down to the lows after an absolute ripper. This thing, each time they put out news, it just tanked. And now I think they've actually put out a regular Reg 1A offering today. I don't know what the price was at. I think it might have been at 2. Just absolutely demolishing. This thing could be going back to 1. Like, this thing could hit trips. It's just, it closed at 18, but it's just nonstop selling, and for good reason. WETG. This is why you stick to alerts, and you don't just kind of buy, because wow, this is one of the worst. You can't really see it on the chart, so I'll just talk about it. It had a negative 35% day today. That's not great. That doesn't mean that can't just be a pullback, but you know, after it ran 40% to dump 35%, that's not that great. But this is why you don't chase things if you can't day trade, because if you got in, let's say after hours, trying to catch that momentum, and then all of a sudden, well, after hours you would have been fine. But if you tried to buy it at the beginning of the day thinking that it was going to have a continuation, you can't sell it, and all of a sudden throughout the day it's just tanking, and you end up with 35% loss, and there's nothing you can do about it. You got to wait for the next day. That causes depression, that causes anxiety. You're going to need a whole script of Xanax to get over that one. I promise you, I've been there, I've done that. And you know, it's a tricky thing. If you can day trade, it opens you up to a little bit more of an opportunity to do things like that. But either way, I can't show this. I don't know why this chart looks like this, and I don't have the time to look into why it looks like this. But either way, you're just going to have to look at it and make a decision yourself. I'm not in love with this stock. HNRC. This is an alert that I set earlier. I'm setting it for 13. If it gets below 13, I'm probably going to buy. This thing has been pulled back like crazy. Had an absolute monolith of a day all the way from 15 to 45. Pulled back hard, tried to get some relief, pulled back hard again. You get this gap fill here. You got to reclaim 15. I'm hoping for a little bit of a sell-off in the morning and then a reclaim of 15 and then maybe move back up to, I don't know, 24, 25. But again, my alerts are set for 13. I'm not just going to grab 14 and pray. I'd rather get in at the bottom because it's a lot easier to hold when you're green than to hold when you're red because of just the sight of red makes you cry. So, you want to try and pick your spots as good as possible. And if you miss that stock, you miss that stock. That's why you set alerts on multiple stocks that give you an opportunity. AIAD. I don't know. This thing has to hold this line here. If it breaks below 7 and closes below 7, it could potentially be going back to 6 to this middle band. Not in love with that. But they're going to have to drop the 10K soon, or it's going to have to hold this line just on, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to. It wanted to break out. It tried to break out. It just didn't get the juice. It's a shame to see. If the 10K would have dropped anywhere in these past days, it would have ran to 16. Probably still will, but it just needs a little bit of time to get some relief. Looking for the 10K on the 15th because they need to release it, and I know that Q1 is due on the 16th, I believe. So hopefully they release them around the same time. MONI. Pull back down. This thing, where's it going to go here? This thing is also riding a trend line. It's trying to hold above this middle band, but it's closing below it. Be careful. This thing, I don't know. I don't like when it starts to lose. Like, see how it came here and it bounced off of that? Well, I mean, unless you bounce off of that and you start pushing up on 2 on that resistance again and break out, you don't want to come back down to this support at 8.9, especially when you're at 14.4. That's about almost 50% loss. So, pick your spots here or reclaim 16. You got to do one of the two, because if you try and fight the chart, you could end up in trouble. GVSI. Again, this is just in accumulation mode, not something that I'm necessarily interested in because, I don't got time to wait. But your Bollinger Bands are pinching. Technicals look fine. Slow death in volume. Obviously needs news. George Sharp has to get these legacy owners out or cancel their shares, whatever one comes first. It's in legal, so that shit can take time. But you still might be okay here to accumulate, because this is clearly bottom. I mean, this thing, it ran on the anticipation of the merger. That didn't come, or they got pink current, which was supposed to be the catalyst. And then as soon as they did, I think that allowed these legacy owners to dump, and they did so. But now you're clearly at a bottom. You wait, you buy now, you wait for the merger. VENG. Sorry guys, it's 2 in the morning here, so if it's low energy, it's probably going to be low energy all week, because I'm going to be like up in the middle of the night. And what is this one? VENG does actually look pretty good here, I'm not going to lie. If it starts to break above, oh damn, this thing, like, it's actually a really nice flag here. Could it go to fill this gap? I don't know. I mean, your MACD's not overbought. You have pretty solid volume. You had good news today. Your RSI is a little bit hot. You don't want to come back to this middle band, but you might not. It's looking kind of bullish. I'm going to keep my eyes on this one. If it starts to break, even if it breaks that high of the day, 197 to 2, if you're pushing into the 2s and you're closing in the 2s, you might be going again. So keep an eye on VENG. FOXO. Someone said that this was looking bullish. I'm not so sure about that. Just kind of no volume, pretty flat line on everything. I mean, you know, you have these jumps in the stock. It is AI, so, you know, these things can run. AI is going to be a hot sector for a long time now. But right now, it's just kind of flatlined. If news comes out or something to send it, then it might have another move in it. But as of now, I'm not really seeing much. AVOI, OTC that's waking up. But it's kind of, I mean, look, you had a good day today. You had a good day today. You had a pullback, and then you closed near the high of the day, which looks really good. Your technicals are pretty hot. Not in love with that. And it seems like a very thin stock. So this thing could fall or rise very quickly. Given the fact that it's up from 7 and it's now at 227, I mean, that's a big rise out of kind of nowhere. It's a little bit hot, but that doesn't mean that it can't keep going. I do like the candle on the daily that shows a little bit of strength. You just don't want to start to lose steam here. VDRM. VDRM is one that I'm really looking to buy at like 9.6. I have my alert set for 1. If it breaks 1, I'm going to load the crap out of it at 9.6 because that was this previous resistance. I think that, and it's almost there. It's got this solid downtrend. If you can get in at 9.6, you have the opportunity to get out at 18, somewhere in that range. It's oversold on everything. It just needs a pullback down to there and then a strong close and then a continuation, which I think it's hunting for this price. I really do think that 9.6, if you can buy at 9.6, you're in good shape. There is a gap down here at 6.2. I just don't see that filling right away. I think that it's going to touch 9.6, run, and then maybe over time come back. But I just don't see it. After it came from 3 cents and it's all the way down at 1 cent, you get it 9.6, you're probably in a good spot. I don't think you're going to have a good chance of losing money if you're buying in there. I can never CYBL. This thing, you know, it goes on these wild moves. I don't know. I think it might be in the gray sheets. I could be wrong on that. Just kind of whatever volume. It's just, I don't really like this stock. I mean, clearly it's going through some issues. It had a huge opportunity back here where it popped up, but it's gradually just like losing value, and your technicals look like absolute dookie stains. That's not a good thing. So I don't know. I just don't really. Is there anything about to come out on this? I'm not sure. This thing tends to be volatile. I mean, you could catch swings. It just doesn't interest me at this moment. BOAS or BAOS. God, I'm tired. Huge day today. Another green dildo to the moon. I mean, look, you're smoking on your RSI at 92. You're, you know, smoking on your MACD, you know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to be bearish on this because I know a lot of people probably bought near the high. But you better get a you better somehow get a continuation. You better get the RSI smoking at 100 and staying there for somehow. But if I'm being honest, and only truth will be told, only truth can be told, I'm not so sure that one keeps going. JXJT, these Chinese stocks have been running 100%. Wild one, super volatile, super low price in the beginning of the day, down at 5, closed at 11.90. Full on breakout mode. I mean, it did break above this, you know, but you got to kind of get above these spikes, I guess. I mean, this thing, you know, it's also hot. Everything's hot on it. You just got to, realistically, with stocks like this, you have to keep the momentum and you have to keep the interest and you have to keep the volume coming in. If the volume dies for even a second, people are going to get antsy and they're going to start to sell. That's why I don't love to buy these because I can't day trade them. These things you can get in on the swing. Like if it's a down push, you can get in, get out for a couple ticks higher. These things are very good to day trade because of the volume coming in. And if you're only looking for a couple ticks, that's obviously available throughout the day. If you're trying to buy this for a swing, like if you want to buy this in the morning tomorrow and hope it goes up another 50, 100%, it's a gambler's game. I mean, you just don't want to buy into something in the morning because of FOMO and not be able to sell and have a huge pullback. It's like going to be an issue, obviously. But it did close near the high of the day. I don't know what it did after market, but I mean that's working for you. There's a few things about this chart that I like. It's just these Chinese pumps. I don't know how long they're going to last, but they don't always last forever. MOLN. I mean, I don't know what you guys want out of this stock. Yes, it's a car company that's, I don't know. Are they legit? Yeah, maybe they have cars. But it's the same old song and dance. Every single company in the OTC, which I don't even know if it's NASDAQ, I guess. But it's come from $1 to 10, actually 7 cents in not that not that long amount of time. I got 2 stocks left. No talk. Um, but look, this guy Lawrence Harge is just basically a glorified pumper. If you can't believe in this guy, I've had longer rants on this, but I'm too tired to even get into it. I don't even care because I don't own shares. But I'm just wondering when you guys are going to realize that like this company just dilutes nonstop. Car companies, like let's say, okay, it's a legit car company, right? Well, in order for them to produce these cars and to move forward, they need money, and most of the time, the way that they're going to get that money is not from $100 billion investment from a Saudi company. It's from dilution, believe it or not. Could that deal eventually come? I don't know, man. Whatever. Believe whatever you want to believe. It's anybody's guess. It's speculation, so it is a guess. You never know. But at the same time, I'm just going off of their track record, and their track record is to dilute their shareholders' bones to dust. And if you like having bones made out of dust, this might be the stock for you. But if you want to get some type of gain, could it be at a low? Sure. Is everything oversold? Yeah, kinda. But the chart kind of gets thrown out the window when the faucet's on, and it's on full tilt. So, until they turn that off and actually let the stock rise a little bit, it's not going to go anywhere. You're going to go from 6 to 8 or, which is still a good gain, but you got to catch that on the right move because it's just like kind of like a blah stock. It's just gross. I don't like it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I know a lot of people like it and I hope it works out for you. I really do. But you got to look into this guy, Lawrence Harge, and really use your mind. Just use your brain. Use what God gave you and think, okay, is this dude, don't judge a book by its cover, fine, okay, whatever. But I'm going to judge somebody that wears Gucci hats and obviously isn't loaded financially, but acts like he is, acts like he's getting a Nobel Peace Prize, is basically a paid pumper. I don't even know why they hired this guy. You could have got somebody a little bit better than that, but hey, it is what it is. Do as you please. It's not my money. AMC, this one, I mean, it's just going to do this. It's not going to go to $70 again. It's not going to go to $225 like everybody said. It's not going to be at $1 trillion market cap like everybody said. And remember, the only reason why it ran to $70 was because of the hype and the memes in 2020 when everybody, and I even talked to some kid the other day. He was like a PA on a job. And he's like, oh, yeah, I was in the stocks. I made like $8,000 on AMC. I'm like, oh, cool. He's like, yeah, and then I lost it all in GME. I'm like, yeah, see, like that's your typical new age 2020 trader. Obviously, he doesn't trade anymore because most people quit as it is. But those are the people that are currently bagged in AMC if they're still holding. Still believing in a MOS. The MOS was to $70 back in the day. That's over now. Okay, the government made sure that it didn't continue to happen. And it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. You know, you can believe that it's going to do whatever you want to believe. I'm not here to sway your decisions in any way. It's a very tradable stock. It's looking okay. You know, it was up to it's having a gradual increase, nice and slow. Got to get above 571, somewhere above that. You know, it could go on a run to $10. You know, it could go on a run to potentially max to 16 if it gets the right type of push and the right type of FOMO by a bunch of AMC apes. But you know, this isn't a stock that's going to change your life anymore. Okay, back in the day, if you would have put 100 grand in before the big run, sure, millionaires would have been made. But that has ran its course, and you're just going to have to deal with that and live with that. And I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but the truth will always be told, and that's all I can do. And now I'm about to go make sure that these guys didn't screw up the job even more, because that will be on me. And if I wouldn't have actually caught them with the floor and the measurements and had to read their diagram for them, which most of the time I can just trust them to know what the hell they're doing, which is nice. But I have to check every once in a while, and I got to remember to check, because if it doesn't go well, this is like a massive major mall. It's probably actually one of the nicest malls in the world. I'm not even going to lie. The foot traffic is ridiculous here. It is like one of the best malls. And we have some of the best events. So if an event, that's why I get paid well, because if something doesn't go right, I'm the only one here that's going to make sure that it goes right. If it doesn't go right and they did build the floor wrong, then that can throw off, there's jobs for Lululemon. You know, we have big clients. That could be a big problem. That could cost them thousands and tens of thousands of dollars, because they have to push the schedule back. They got to like hire new guys to come in. It's like a whole thing. These budgets are massive, but they still try and keep them in a budget. So if I don't catch that tonight, I could have cost a company $25,000, literally. And that happens all the time, and it's never happened to me in 7 years, and that's why they keep me here, because I never say no to a job. I don't care what the situation is. I always say yes, even if it's last minute and I have plans, and no problems. Nothing's ever gone wrong, and it never will. So I don't know why I'm just talking at this point, but time to upload the video, get it out before the market opens, and hopefully we all have a good day. For the love of God, give us a good day, Lord.